My name is Franco Conzato. I work in the European Commission, EuropeAid, and we are very pleased on behalf of the Commission and the European External Action Service to welcome in this nice room here with such a beautiful day for the opening of our seminar. I would like just to thank you for accepting our invitation, and in particular the panelists, and more in particular those coming from long distance. And of course I would like to thank our Commissioner for being really one of the key force behind that. And without hesitation, I would like to give the word to Jan ten Bloemendaal for the opening. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. Unfortunately, our Deputy Director General was not able to come. He was caught in another meeting at the same time. So you will have to do it with me for this few opening remarks today. Really happy to see all the participants today, a range of participants from partner countries, from member states, and also from the NGO, civil society world. Part of the reason that we organized the workshop is that we have basically stepped up our commitment in the area of results approaches in order to make sure that we are in the position to improve, modernize our work in this area. And we hope really that this workshop and the exchanges which will take place today may help us to draw further lessons in this area. Results has become more and more important today. Commission is since a few years under increasing pressure from the other institutions in particular to step up its results reporting. Council, Parliament, Court of Auditors, they all requested us to do better. And this is also something which basically is reflected in the new financial legal instruments, the regulations which will govern our efforts in the external assistance area over the coming 7 years. We feel that we start becoming on the right track. We are developing our own results framework for the moment, and we are happy, in fact, in that to be able to draw lessons from what others have been doing before us. A few of the partner institutions here are also represented here today. World Bank, DFID, they have comprehensive results frameworks in place. Denmark and France have also set up results frameworks. Sweden is has decided to replace its country strategy papers by results strategy papers, as I may understand, and also Germany is thinking on setting up a results framework. So it's an excellent opportunity today to be able to exchange further on this and to learn further from each other, and in particular for us it is part of an important process to step up our efforts. So thank you very much, and I would like to give the floor to Commissioner for his keynote address.
Well, good morning, everybody. I would like to thank everybody who decided to join this very interesting workshop. During the last couple of days, I have had very positive emotions mostly. I came from Nairobi, where we have joined ACP EU Ministerial. It's an event of more than 100 of countries, and usually you just think one thing, well, how to survive the evening, this event with less, your grey cells lost. And this was not the spirit. We have agreed on the issues that I would actually never would like to believe that such a type of meeting could decide. It was about closing one of joint institutions. I would say it's impossible to agree. No, it was possible to agree, and none of the delegation reopened the issue. Second positive was, this country national indicative programs. Well, for me, perhaps I have been too long in the job, and that is, well, not particular event. For our partner countries, it matters. And I think what are conclusions you would say? The times we are now demonstrates that there have been qualitative change in our partner countries, and they recognize very much the value of money. Money that really could make a difference in development as investment. There is not such a thing that fatigue of development. Actually, it's a completely different process. It is a requirement for development and resources. Because countries also doing, say, well, domestic task of providing social services. The country size for science, for example, well, Kenya has 20 billion budget. Tanzania has 12 billion budget. Rwanda has 2.6 billion budget. Uganda 5.5 billion budget. And what we are talking about, actually, development support per year, well, between 50 and 100 million. It depends on circumstances, and it's not guaranteed by itself. And it just demonstrates what importance it is. But in this type of requirements, definitely we need very well to respond what we can achieve realistically, how we should target resources, and how we measure how it moves forward. So it's nothing new, and there is a Indian teacher and philosopher from the 3rd century before Christus, Chanakya, said that before you start some work, always ask yourself 3 questions. Why am I doing it? What might the results be? And will I be successful? Only when you think deeply and find satisfactory answers to these questions, go ahead. Well, I think what he meant, you're still a proactive person, because if you ask these questions, you usually could decide to do nothing. But I think we should get from the point of view that human nature is in activity, and that's why I would say these questions are so pertinent. This wisdom, as I mentioned, is more than ever relevant today, and thinking of results should be part of modern 21st century development policy making. So then again repeats this Chanakya's 3 basic questions. What are our objectives? Second, what results do we want? And third, how we can be certain that we will get the desired results. If we are serious about this, we must be able to measure and demonstrate our achievements. The positive benefits of results-based approach to development cooperation are clear. What, not least example, what Jan said, court of audit. That also is an argument, but that's not the main for me. It is a good argument because definitely it's by far easier to defend what you are doing. Such benefits will help ensure accountability and provide more reliable evidence of what we achieve on the ground, all of which is essential to help with the dialogue we undertake with our partner countries. We have political dialogues, and that also is a very strong development instrument, and all of which will help us explain the importance of our work to our own citizens. I would like to share some reflections on what we have achieved so far, what are our objectives, what results we want, and how to go about measuring them. I really come from the point that aid works. I think for me, who joined rather recently to this, I am more than convinced that it works. It's just sometimes difficult to express. And we are, in a way, rather late in the day, came to this, how to express, how does it work. I think Millennium Development Goal frameworks actually was good starting point. Thanks to worldwide efforts, global poverty has significantly reduced in the last 10 years. Fewer people now go to bed hungry, fewer children are dying from preventable diseases, and more girls are going to school. EU has played its part. I am proud to use the same figures since again, but I think it is also impressive. Since 2004, around 14 million pupils have been enrolled additionally in primary education, and more than 70 million people have been connected to improved drinking water. And the EU has helped construct or renovate more than 8,500 health facilities worldwide. These and other results have been possible because donors and partner countries have worked together to achieve them. And still much remains to be done. In the immediate future, the EU will work with its partners to pursue the MDG framework. So really much very focused so that our partner countries could explain its results of their work in MDG's language. And because we know that aid can work, our support will continue. The EU budget for 2014-2020 will maintain aid amounting to 50.1 billion euro. We will be mostly targeting least developed and other low-income countries. Actually, 70% of our aid will go in this direction. And I believe that's where our aid could make the most difference. But not only in least developed countries and low-income countries, aid could make a necessary difference. So I am not trying to say that, well, it only, but I think by our mission, EU mission, we should focus particularly in this segment. I'm not saying that also some middle-income countries should not be addressed, and it could provide very important impact. Now we are talking about the post-2015 framework. With the post-2015 framework, the international community is currently shaping. We have the best opportunity in history to eradicate poverty and secure a sustainable future for our planet. The EU believes that the post-2015 framework should have poverty eradication and sustainable development at its core, and include 5 main elements: basic living standards, inclusive and sustainable growth, sustainable management of natural resources, equity, equality and justice, and peace and security. So the results we wish to see must reflect these priorities. Since I am politically responsible for the resources that we have asked for and have obtained from EU legislators and citizens, I want to be able to show that the part the EU has played. But just to deviation on post-2015 framework, I start to be proud of myself sometimes. Most of the time I'm not proud. But this high-level panel put on the results, goals, targets, objectives. I have had very little trust that international community in New York will follow the path, and they did. And I would even question that we will have discussion with member countries, what they say, well, put a means of implementation under each target. I said, well, nothing wrong with it. I think it's intellectually too challenging, for me at least. But I'm really glad that it means that we are able really to influence the global process, because the differences between different continents and different people are not so big. Everybody is really focused on results. That's why it worked. And I never believed that UN, that usually is based on texts, on narratives, would go this way. And there's no question they are doing it. So open working groups, with all controversy about it, with all the difficulties, exactly following the same model. So that, I think, is extremely impressive, that this idea about results is taking over. It's taking over. Now I think an open working group is just now to make the ambition realistic. And that's why I believe what you will be doing here very much could also help. Because you can make a big framework, you can make means of implementation, but they do not match, and then you basically are struggling, or what means that you are deviating and use something different else. And I think we missed the first chance with MDGs. To be honest, being late in it, I think we should have result framework with MDGs when they were established. We tried to improve during this time, but it was not so obvious until, well, the last years of MDGs. Then we moved seriously. But if we would have done it earlier, well, the situation would be completely different today, and I would be in a better situation. So it's crucial time when you discuss, not only for us, but also for international community as a whole. Well, what we have done definitely in the development policy, and I think it is good that we anticipated and high-level panel helped us, it is, that we, with Agenda for Change, we did some changes that very much will be adapted to the post-2015 framework, and also with the new policies globally. What we have done, first of all, we targeted our funds to limited number of countries most in need, concentrating funds on a limited number of strategic sectors when we can have the greatest impact, and placing specific emphasis on results. So all the delegations and also headquarters are in this thinking. The problem is that it's very divergent thinking. But well, it's already there. So the elements of thinking is there. And that's why I don't see it will be so difficult for EU machinery that is rather heavy built to adapt whatever the results come at the end of the year, because it is all basically ready for this. So, and nothing should be, will be stagnant. So I believe that it's very good that agenda for change is very much philosophies that we have in national indicative programs. We are now working for regional indicative programs. I will have today another very interesting meeting, how to relate our regional programs towards individual countries that are representing regional entities. There are some studies done how you can even measure the need for regional integration or willingness for regional integration. That is interesting issues that we never asked before, because when you put money in regional funds, basically it should show countries that are in this regional organization. And there should be clear link and clear also accountability in it. But that is also interesting issues that we are trying to deal. And again, results framework could help us to prepare very good regional indicative programs, because we still have time, and the processes that are coming here could influence there. I mentioned, I think, most of it, what I would like to. Then is another issue that I believe that is important while results is. It is moving away from pillars. And I would just mention examples that happened with me personally. Well, I was in Kenya on Friday. I, on Monday, got this evaluation report of our programs in Kenya. So it was 1 day late. So the point is how we make all the systems that we have, result, evaluation, work in the same approach. And that, I think, is also interesting, but the point of departure is, what is the results framework? Because only then all the other parts could work in the same way, and then we could overcome what we have, this pillar approaches. And I know that World Bank is trying to deal with this, but I believe it could be moved only if you have results framework, because then the whole machinery, geographical, thematic, works in the same metrics. And evaluation done is the same metrics. And then you can really try to overcome this pillar, because otherwise it's just impossible. Because each of us has its own task, but it's differently measured. And so it's moving here and there, and you never get full overview even about your political responsibility field. So I believe, again, what we are doing here, it is so crucially important that I would like to wish the good work of the panel. I really to ask the good Jan and Franco and his teams, because it's a very challenging thing, but I hope that we will be able to have the results frameworks that we can approve by end of the year. It's nothing static. I again would say, it's nothing static. The work will continue. It should not be seen once for all. It is a human, we are humans, and humans have tendency to change. So we should reflect on this permanently. But I think it's important, good basic point to departure. We know where go post-2015. That's we have not so much difficulties. What we actually need somehow to adapt our thinking towards a post-2015 framework that is very clear, goal, target, indicators, and how we transfer this in our development landscape. And then definitely we need to build the biggest possible coalition, because it's good that it's most of us to accept similar matrices or comparable matrices. If we still stay with each of us different, it's not big tragedy, but I think it would be missed opportunities. The same pillar is between us and member countries as different actors. So it would be good that we convince that results framework could be measured in the same way. And I would say that this task is as important in our development cooperation as EU internal development. I know that last week, I think it was called partnership agreement between the Commission and member countries. Baltic countries signed with the Commission. It's based on the same logic we are having, because first time, I think in history, that Commission negotiates with each member country where the money should go. And in my country's case, my country came with the roads, because we have not the best quality roads. Well, we sometimes forget we have a 2 million population and 1 million basically is living in capital. So you could put a lot of money in the roads, but it does not mean that it will make big growth in economy. So that's Commission said, wait a minute, you should put more money in research and development. You should put more money also in education, because if you're just building roads, it's not bad and it's good spending of money. But it doesn't guarantee that you will have good growth rates when you will be out of these programs of regional support. What is a weakness I've seen? It is not so clear how it will be measured, what results will be achieved. So it's basically based on the perception that you need not to put all money just on heavy infrastructure. You need to be much more clever. But the balance on the results you would achieve and how we will measure if my country is really going good forward very much depends what results framework would be built about. So what we are doing today, or you are doing today most, actually could also make a big impact in EU internal policies, because that will make EU regional funds by far more accountability in this. And it will help also member countries who are will be more courageous, perhaps to use the mechanism in some of the internal policies. So that's why I would say this what we are doing is not only for us. If it's well done, it could be applied in national policies. It could be applied also by our colleagues to use whatever instruments, financial instruments we have, where we basically get taxpayers' money to get the results framework, try to measure it, try to follow up it, and really to make, convince taxpayers that money that they are paying really makes a difference for the life of the countries and for them, also for them. So it is quite a high task, and thank you for everybody who joined this seminar today. Thank you. Bye.